Hello, Matt.
Ribbit.
What a the frog threw me. I didn't know what else to say to it. What are we doing?
Gamers 2 podcast.
The one and only.
Yep.
Quite
February,
literally, I think.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. There's so much.
I mean, if you search Gamers 2 on YouTube, there's like 17 channels, but we're the only one that's a podcast that I know of, according to everybody that let me submit a name and say it wasn't taken already. In my quick searching I could do. So
They're probably all inactive anyways.
And if anything, you're just copycats after us. Can we say that? Can we say first? I don't know if we can. Anyway. So, yeah, gaming. Obviously, based on the title. Nerd stuff, based
Other
on the
things.
title.
February 8th.
Food stuff.
The week of February 8th.
Food stuff. Oh, yeah. February 8th, the week thereof. Of the month of our Lord and Savior, Saint Valentine.
That bastard.
Yeah, he's a real bitch. Anyway. I don't really have anything else to say other than just constantly going to shit on that guy for a while. What have you been doing in our recap segment that we call Rewind Time?
It's rewind time.
It's a rewind time. Shoot me. What have you been doing in the last 7 days?
Games wise, I've literally just played the Division beta, and that's it.
And that started today. So
It did.
6 days of nothing.
Yep. 6 days of no video games, at least.
True.
The Division beta was good. The little bit that I played of it. I played with, I'm assuming he was some sort of Latin descent fellow.
Jesus?
Got in a party with him.
Our boy Jesus?
Oh, I don't know about that.
The great Jesus. Jesus, praise him.
He was cool, though. He kept calling me bro.
Yeah, bro.
Is, it was always fun.
Was his
And then
name?
he called me Poppy a few times.
Hey, Papi.
Yeah, that was weird. But we killed some people.
Well, that's a good time.
Murdered some people.
Murdered some people or some NPCs?
NPCs.
Okay.
Murdered NPCs. I'm trying to think of anything noteworthy about the beta. I don't know. It seemed pretty stable. It was good. You could from like the little bit that I saw, you could like you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between it and the Division.
Perfect.
Short of like obviously the new stuff, the new skills and all.
Oh, those giant skills. I'm in DC, not New York, but
yeah.
then again, if you can't figure that out, maybe you shouldn't play video games if you can't figure out you're standing in Washington
there was
DC.
Anything different though? I don't remember. I don't think anything was different like cover system wise or anything like that really. But I only played like 2 or 3 missions. And I was like, that's good enough. It feels good.
Get the feel. Go.
It looks good.
More of the same. That's what I signed up for. Check the box. Moving on.
Yep, exactly. The AI seemed a little bit more intelligent as far as like seeking cover, moving around, trying to flank. So that could be fun.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely a good thing.
At a certain point, I'm sure we'll still reach God status, but even true God status was annoying at endgame Division, where you're like, man, I'm really good. Oh, they just make the enemies stupid hard now.
Well, now I think it could be interesting because it was the low-level NPCs that were doing this.
Right.
And then we did the first real mission, full mission, and it's the same structure as like the first few missions of the Division, where it's like go fight your way up to X place, and then there's like that enemy with it's got the armor and the massive health.
named enemy.
Same thing. But what was interesting is it was just the 2 of us, and we had like NPC Division agents with us.
Oh, okay.
I think one of them, the one that was with us was there for a story reason.
Still new there.
Yeah.
Usually don't bring them with you.
Yep, and she fought too, which was interesting. But we ran into the issue to where like we weren't steamrolling it, obviously, because there was only 2 of us. We went in with 2 when you could have went in with 4. And the named enemy who had the massive health pool was doing his normal thing, walking around, doing his, shooting his big gun, walking around. And so naturally we're all focused on him.
Right.
And meanwhile, you got these little fucking smart thinking peon NPCs who are like, oh, I'm going to flank these motherfuckers and sneak up behind them. And they come up like you're not realizing. The next thing you know, there's like 10 dudes behind you all like shooting you in the back. So, yeah.
That can be a problem.
That can be a problem. Other than that, a lot of viewing as per usual. And hanging out, watching, the suite of anime that I've acquired.
I mean, yeah. That's a way to describe it. Not
nothing,
addiction or...
It's a phase. I go through these anime phases.
Yeah, fair enough. Come about June, you won't be talking about any animes. We'll be back to history things or Bruce Lee.
Oh, it's starting to work them in.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Watched a couple documentaries. Hitler's Olympics. Did not know. Did you know? Our modern idea of the Olympics, like what the current structure of the Olympics is, Hitler, motherfucker.
And they say he never did anything good.
I know, right? What else did I watch? Swinging, straight from Hitler. The Tab Hunter Confidential documentary. I don't know if you know who Tab Hunter is.
I can't say I do.
Actor from the 50s.
Okay.
And on. Your classic American, all American boy.
Except he was a spy.
Blonde hair, blue eyes. No, he was gay.
Oh.
That was his,
so
the weird thing there.
So he was in like Flynn.
Yeah, except, he had to hide it because it was illegal at the time.
Yeah, at the time.
Yep. Interesting documentary. What else did we watch? Oh, Senna, which is about Ayrton Senna. Classic.
Not the McLaren?
Nope.
Oh.
Well, McLaren's based on him, kind of.
Ah.
And then The Orville. Started watching The Orville.
Seth MacFarlane's show.
Faux shizzle. It's rough so far. We're like 5 or 6 episodes in the first season. And it's trying at this point, it feels like it's trying to be Star Trek so much.
Right.
But it's just not on that level.
Which
can be painful. It's very painful.
It's painful if you're a Star Trek fan.
Yeah. Yeah, nerd. Yeah, that's about it. That's what I've been doing. Watching a lot of stuff, playing very little. I don't know where to go from here. I'm still trying to figure out what to play, what to get into. Probably wait for Anthem. Just kind of beat around Subnautica and wait for Anthem.
Anthem is Friday if you do Origin Premiere.
Yeah.
So you only got a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'll probably do the premiere. I'll probably do it early.
$15, give it a test shot. Technically, it would take you 4 months to hit the $60 mark, so no matter what, you'd be bonus money if you stopped before then.
Let's see here. When's the Division 2?
March
2nd week?
No. Yeah, it's midweek. It's mid-month because MLB is at the end of the month, right before I go to PAX.
So, yeah, that gives me a month.
It's like it might be the 15th. That might be correct.
That gives me a month to ring Anthem of all that it's worth, and then
especially because they announced their roadmap for content later, and you're like, well, here we go.
Yeah. All right, what have you been doing?
I've been doing the huge, as the kids would say.
Oh, so hip.
And I've been yeeting on them.
So hip, so fly. Where's your jewel? You got your jewel?
Yeah.
Let's vape, bro.
Jewel sounds.
Jewel sounds.
No, there's no bubble in those ones. I was gonna do like the good old. Oh, there's no bubble. That'd just be a bong or a hookah. Hookah. It used to be the worst. So complete, not directly Juul thing, but when vaping first was like coming out and whatever.
Yeah.
You used to have to start yelling at people in voice servers because you could every time they would rip one, you would just hear it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go push to talk or mute your fucking mic because I'm sick of listening to it. because it would just be it's right
very
next
distinct
and it's
because
right next to the mic. It's not like it's a question of anything.
yeah, there's almost like a metallic somewhat. There's like a metallic noise to vaping because like something
Yeah, a little bit.
It's always fun when you hear someone
so
smoking weed though, because it's usually like a bong or it's like a
a hookah or
a bowl, and you
Yeah.
hear the burning of like the weed.
Yeah, you hear the crackling.
Yep, the crackle exactly. And then with the bong, you straight up hear the bubbling.
Yeah.
It's just like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, all you hear is bubbles, and then if they're actually just smoking a joint, you can hear the burn, and it also just sounds different. You can almost tell what somebody's smoking based on the sound.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, so yes, eating Jules. I'm with the kids. I'm one with the kids.
Hello, fellow
fellow
people.
kids. So I was playing Apex with the children.
Think of the children.
Good game. So yeah, that was fun. Apex is cool.
We're gonna talk about it if you want to save your opinions.
I am.
Until
I'm gonna save until then. But we've been playing. I think Kenny and I have played 3 nights now. Since it released on Monday. Monday we played, then Thursday, and then today we played. Been fun. Been enjoying it.
Think you're gonna keep playing it?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll get more into that later. And the solid bonuses it offers with some downsides as well. I played 2 more missions of Detroit. You watched me play those missions.
So fascinating.
It almost makes me not want to play it unless you're here now, kind of. But I'm not going to do that. But it did have that, because some of them are just, there's almost nothing you can do wrong type of situation.
Yeah.
Like the second one with Marcus, there's nothing really.
See, now
different.
like I have so many questions because like I never really got. Well, there's a few where like the situation you were in, it was imperative that you hit those QuickTime events. Or else,
my situation with Kara.
Yes. Whereas like I never had a character. Well, like Connor, yes. I never had Kara in a situation to where like I had to nail a QuickTime event or else she possibly could die.
Yeah.
And like now I just want to know like if all right, so say you didn't hit your QuickTime
Say I
events.
fail that moment. What happens? Do I
Does
lose
she
her?
get-
Do I lose the other one?
Yeah, does someone die? Does someone get like horrified, like just
Disfigurement?
grotesquely
Yeah.
disfigured? Like
Yeah. It was funny when you're like, whoa, holy shit. And I'm like, I now need to get to the end of this so I can hear what he needs to say. And you're like, yeah, I didn't do any of that. And I'm like, what the fuck?
oh.
So it was fun to see that happen.
Yeah, I'd never even like that's not even the same set piece I saw. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
So yeah, I played 2 missions of that. Played more show. That's reaching its end for me.
Just in time.
Yeah, it's going to be one where I think I'm going to force myself to dump that and like in my trade-in pool. I think I'm going to try to finish Detroit and then just dump both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And like this other, I think I'm holding on to a Switch game for some reason, and just dump them and be ready to go and kind of just remove it from my stop distracting me list.
Yeah.
Battlefield 5, still getting in and doing the weekly challenges. Still enjoyable. Still enjoy it as a shooter. Still a fun time.
It's so foreign to me. Like I just can't do that.
I gotta load up while you're here afterwards, and we'll double check stats again because I haven't done it since the last time we looked about like percentages and stuff, and I'm just curious to see where I am now.
You think you're higher? Like
I could be worse. I could be better. I don't know. My win percentage might be higher, but that also might be completely construed because there was the squad conquest mode they put out and forced you to do for the first 2 weeks sucked, and I lost a lot. So I don't know. Balancing act.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I played is one we've talked about ad nauseum before. But it is what led us to the promised land of almost a new segment on every single episode when we did this. When we played Football Manager 19. The second save has begun.
Oh, Jesus.
I have retaken the position of Manchester United's head coach, albeit with...
What happened to the shitty?
They just become a free agent one. Oh, well, the shitty one in real life got canned. They hired a new one who's been doing great, and then I took his spot.
No, like, what happened to the previous save? Where you guys were trying to build teams up from the ground?
That one is probably now back burner because we're
Just
back to our other teams, but it's still there. It's not deleted, it's just there. But now we're back to my Manchester United, his Arsenal, and we are 5 games into the season.
Anyone running away yet?
So far I'm 5-0.
Okay.
I'm at the top of the league. I have had a much easier schedule, and my team is technically in a better position. I start in a much better position than he does, just like talent-wise and whatever. And it also benefits me that it's a video game, so some of the people that suck in real life currently are just not in form. That doesn't matter in the game. I can make them in form, so... just working tools. I'm playing chess.
What's his record?
He's got to win. I don't know. 1-1-3 maybe. 1-2-2. Not positive. Not good. But he's been behooved by injuries.
That's per usual, I feel like.
Yeah, he's just getting screwed. He made the bold claim today that he's going to forego trying to get top 4 in the Premier League, which is a big thing, because if you get top 4 in the Premier League, it means you get into Champions League. He's going to try to forego Champions League, or the chance to get Champions League via that, and instead try to win the Euro Cup. If you win Euro Cup, you're auto-qualified into Champions League. So he's going to try to not do the top 4 because it'll probably be harder, and instead just put all his eggs in the Euro basket.
Which I feel like that would also be hard, though.
It is, but as him and I joked, it's the Man United way, because a couple years ago, that's what United did. They just accepted that they couldn't make the league, that they couldn't make top 4 at a certain point. There's just no way we can do this, so let's just throw all our eggs in that basket. Granted, that decision wasn't necessarily made at 5 games into the season, but we'll see.
Well, Godspeed.
His joke was, if I don't have Champions League football in the next season, you won't see me until FM 30. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But so far, so good. I'm enjoying it. We just started, and when we start the second save in terms of this January window and stuff, we turn off the first transfer window because we want to go into the season with the rosters that have already been decided in real life, and we still want to have the time to build match sharpness and tactics through friendlies. So we just turn off the transfer window and don't let teams do anything until the January in the actual game. So no, I haven't made any signings. I haven't lost anybody. Nobody's unhappy yet. I haven't lost my premier striker after he put up fucking 40 goals and he wanted to, I need to go get better competition, so I'm going to leave and go to Bayern Munich. I had the best competition. You were on fire. That
You sound bitter.
That was a couple years ago. My star striker, who scored averaged 2 goals a game, which is nuts. This guy, he was balling out. And then in the January window, it's I want to leave. And I'm like, what? No, we're in Champions League, going in the elimination rounds, and you want to leave now? We're number 1 in the league by a large margin. We're basically number 1 seed in Champions League right now. We're still in we're in a bunch of competitions. You want to leave? Do you hear the words that are coming out of your mouth?
The game was just it's going too well for him. We need to throw a wrench in his plan.
Yeah. So, and this is the other problem. So, this isn't the FM hot minute, but in real soccer and in FM there was a thing before where if you would be, I think I've explained this maybe before, you were cup tied. And what cup tied meant was if you played for a club in a cup competition, so say you played for Arsenal in the Champions League. And then they, in the beginning of the season, because you have those games, and then you hit January, and they were to sell you to, say, Barcelona, who's also in the Champions League. Before, if you did that, you would not be able to play in the Champions League for Barcelona because you were already claimed by a club in before. So you'd be stuck for that season until next season, then it all resets. They ditched that now. So now in January, if you swap half season, you're no longer cup tied and you can just go nuts.
So there's just way more movement then.
So now, so now it's a ton more movement. But at the time, when I lost my star striker, you could still get cup tied. So he was tied, but now my options for buying people are limited as shit because I need to buy somebody that's not in the competition, which means I have to buy a lower tier person. I was screwed. I was so screwed. I got a backup striker, but nowhere near the quality of what I had. And I was just like, you son of a bitch. Not to mention he pissed me off because I didn't want to sell him. And I kept having these conversations like, I don't want to sell him. I get an offer and I was like, decline. Like, I don't want to do this. And then he came to me and was like, I really want to leave. I was like, I really think you should stay. He's like, no, you need to sell me. And I was just like, oh my God, fine. So I finally accepted it and moved on. And there's like an option to make parting comments when you sell somebody. And as he was leaving, I made the parting comment and I was like, hey, you're welcome back at any time if you ever want to come back because you balled out. You were doing crazy. So if you ever want to come back, I understand. Just let me know and I'll try to, arrange a transfer. And he went, I'm never coming back as long as you're head coach. And I just went, you can go fuck yourself. And then I watched him for like the next couple weeks that we played that save of. And I don't think he started a single game for the other team I sold him to. And I just went, suck it.
What did you do to piss him off?
Nothing. I won. I'm a winner. Everybody hates a winner, including the people winning.
Did you touch him in the locker room?
No. Not that anybody can prove. I've been reading my book, The Killer Collective by Barry Eisler.
Oh, so it hasn't been...
We're doing good.
Okay.
Doing good. Good book. So far, I'm enjoying it. I'm at like chapter 23. So, I bought the audiobook for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like $1.99. Okay, deal. I didn't pay anything for the book, so it's a good deal. And I've been using that, on car rides back and forth from work. Between that or a podcast or something, and I just listen to that. I'm like, it's a good way to do it. Read at the toilet, get in the car, do the same thing. Like, good time.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I'm enjoying it. I'll have more thoughts later, but so far it's now they're really getting into the everybody, all the players are they're weaving how they're all connected. You're like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, it makes sense. And it's a bunch of high level military, like, oh, this guy was the Black Ops, blah blah blah, pew pew pew, and he knows a bunch of other people that are really dark secrets with pew pew pews, and yeah.
Sounds intense.
And then I've been watching soccer, obviously, and some basketball, and no more football. Because that's over. Baseball starts soon.
I was going to say, that's baseball's going to be starting soon.
Pitchers and catchers report in less than 2 weeks, and we actually get the season kicked off either end of March or early April, I don't remember.
So where did the teams in the Northeast practice and
South?
Do they just go somewhere else?
Yankees have spring training in Tampa.
They train at college or something?
No, they have a Yankee facility down there.
Well, the Yankees would have their own facility.
I mean, they all have facilities.
Too much money.
They either have facilities usually in the Southwest or the Southeast. Or some of them are just in the South, but usually it's Southwest and Southeast because they do league games and they all trail around to each other's little stadiums there. So
yeah,
I think it's the Grapefruit League and the Pacific League are the two spring training leagues.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like their training facility in air quotes. So if you go to a lot of NFL stadiums, they have the stadium, but then their training field is not the stadium. They train at a building that is still stupidly large right next to the stadium. It's like the same thing, except not in the same state.
Yeah.
So like if they have to send a player to do rehab, usually if they're doing full rehab before they're actually cleared to play again, they'll send them to those facilities and stuff like that. And then when they are cleared to work back to baseball activities or like work back to playing, they'll start in the farm teams and work their way back to the major stuff. So
there's like an obscene amount of money in sports.
Yep, a stupid amount of money. Been watching the Grand Tour. We're still enjoying that.
Yeah. Hey, which truck would you have picked?
Probably still the Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Mercedes was really nice, but once that back actually gave out,
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think
the Volkswagen, it was really tempting.
That it would be
it was right between the Ford and the Volkswagen.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
And then The Passage. I've been watching that. It's that vampire like show.
Yeah, the one that you were like, I don't know, you were like about last time, I think.
Yeah, because nothing had happened.
So has anything happened?
Stuff has started to happen. We're getting somewhere now. We're reaching that right before the bubbles happen at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. We're like, all right, now you can tell something's cooking. You can really tell. Before it was just like
simmering.
Yeah, before you turn the heat on the water, and you're just waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, heat's been on for 5 minutes, but you can't even tell that the water has any effect yet. There's nothing. Just we're here, and then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, I can see bubbles forming. Okay, all right, I see where we're going. I see what we're doing. Slightly disappointed the way the last episode ended, but that's just more of it was like a, yeah, of course it's you, and like, yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Indeed.
Indeed.com.
Sponsored by. So, I got some stuff, Matt, that you could play.
I doubt that.
Before 2 weeks when you play Anthem. Or a week, depending on what you do. You could play Apex Legends. You could play Battle Motion for PC. Rage Room for PS4. Riot Civil Unrest for the Switch or Xbox. Spike Volleyball for the PC, PS4, or Xbox.
Volleyball game.
Whew. I didn't look at it. I'm curious, but I didn't look at it. The Hong Kong Massacre. For PS4. The Occupation for PS4, Xbox, PC. Ape Out for PC and Switch. Plane Mechanic Simulator for PC.
So simulate. I wonder if you can work on hurricanes in that game.
Oh, maybe it's just Spitfires. God Eater 3 for PC and PS4. Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game 2 for PS4, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Yokai Watch 3 for the 3DS. And The Division Private Beta. All out this week.
I feel like that beta isn't very private. Because they sent me an email like, hey, come play this.
Yeah, it's funny because they're like Division Private Beta streamed all over Twitch. And you're like,
yeah.
That's not a definition of a private beta. What do you mean?
I'm fairly certain they're like, oh, you have Uplay? Oh, come play this.
Hey, you ever played one of our games ever? Any UB game. UB Arts? I don't care. You play Child of Light? You play fucking Trials? Do you want to play Division? I mean, come on. Play.
Go here.
I got it.
We have candy.
Ooh, I got green loots for you. Anyway. Shall we get into Conversation Street? Can't use that. That's copywritten. Can we get into the news headlines? And I will start. Mostly because I'm going to use the second one to grab a water.
You're going to have plenty of time doing that one. It's long.
That's why I'm doing it. Number 1. Although most of the news this week seems focused on Apex Legends, and we'll get there, which we'll get to. Hey, I'm once again interrupting my own sentence. One of these times when I start to say that, you should then put the second comma as, and Nate just screwed this up. Continue. Microsoft's news has the potential to be very interesting. Microsoft has announced plans to bring Xbox Live to the Nintendo Switch iOS, and Android. They have They have pointed to panel at the upcoming GDC for. Wait.
There's something missing there.
Wait a second. I got you. Okay, I got you. They have pointed to the panel at the upcoming GDC for more details, so we'll have to wait till March to hear what Microsoft's Xbox Software Development Kit is capable of. Notably, the only platform not mentioned in the press release was Sony's PlayStation, which probably doesn't surprise anyone. No shit. If Microsoft's intentions are to bring cross-platform play to everyone, then the question becomes whether Sony can afford to stand on their own. Sony did make the most money from their online services last year. Maybe even they have something similar in the works. Speaking to our insider, we have ideas. Speaking to what Matt wrote, speaking of Sony's lack of crossplay, apparently the developer for War Thunder has been trying to gain permission to enable crossplay since Sony's Fortnite beta. They've even resorted to calling Sony out on Twitter, but as of February 6th, they still have not received permission.
Right before we went on here, I was thumbing through the news as well, and Hi-Rez with Paladins, which I didn't even know was still a thing, complained of the same.
Paladins is still around.
Yeah, complained of the same exact thing where they can't get permission to enable crossplay.
I guess the question would be, can they not get permission, or are they not even getting an answer?
It seems like they're not getting an answer.
Right, which that sounds more what I would expect is for them to just go, What? What'd you say? Crossplay? I got donuts. And then just keep
Mm-hmm. Which
every time they're like, crossplay, look at this chart I have. You guys don't make me enough money. Don't care.
It makes me wonder if like some of the bigger games have also asked and they just haven't gotten a response, or they were told no, or if they just haven't asked, like Black Ops or whoever.
Yeah, I mean, they could honestly just be like, whatever.
Yeah.
We don't technically care.
I'm curious. Curious, though.
We shall see?
Yeah.
I don't really know. I mean, the crossplay's no shit. Like, no duh. Like, that. Yeah. I'm not surprised they're not telling any of you else, especially when they said, we're testing it with Fortnite first. I'm sure they're still wondering if it is if they saw what they wanted to from the Fortnite one, or if Fortnite was the only one that they've gotten the backlash from big enough for them to make a move. Where, I'm sorry, but I haven't heard the Paladins community sweep through Reddit screaming that they can't crossplay.
Or War Thunder, for that matter.
Yeah. Even more War Thunder, I guess. The Xbox Live one, though, was interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
It's one thing, I guess, on Android and iOS because the Windows Phone is gone. So that's one thing. Okay, so you weren't in a mobile department anymore, so now you're in a mobile department. But then Nintendo's like, yeah, sure, go for it. And you're like, and there was the solid SpongeBob meme, because all memes usually from SpongeBob are pretty solid, of Squidward looking out the window of his house to seeing SpongeBob and Patrick running by, and Squidward was labeled Sony, and Patrick and SpongeBob were labeled Microsoft and Nintendo. And it was something along the lines of like when you refuse to do crossplay with anybody or something. You know,
yeah,
look at everybody having fun, and then you just not.
I definitely feel like they're setting themselves up for a bit of a failure come next generation.
Oh yeah, they're. We've talked about it before in terms of what it can mean on next generation, and so far, Microsoft has set themselves up quite well.
Yeah,
quite well moving into next gen.
And this is just like
It's
even
not
more
still-
icing on the cake.
Yeah, you're still getting out in front of E3 with before like we're in February, and you're going to drop this news, which would have been like E3 news.
Mm-hmm. So what happens if, for example, they bring Xbox Live to Nintendo, and Nintendo brings Virtual Console to Xbox?
Be interesting.
And then it's like, you know, you have a whole group of people next generation who are like, I can get X, Y, and Z on this console, and I can only get X on that console.
And to be fair, X gonna give it to you because it's really good.
Yeah, they do have better games.
In terms of exclusives, if you wanted to play everything, you're technically better off on Microsoft. In terms of the best console, it, like hardware wise, is if you go to the highest comparison specs.
PC Master Race.
If you want to really be the best, you get a PC. But getting you'd get the X and you would play everything and yada yada. But when you're like, man, what has had some of the greatest, when you like really think about it, some of the greatest games of the last few years? Oh yeah, Last of Us was really good. God of War won Game of the Year. A lot of people really like Spider-Man, and you're like, oh, wait a second. Oh shit, those are all on PlayStation, and you're like, well. Plus, if you have a PC, not only do you get all these great games with, as I talked about last week, Steam's 30,000 big library, plus all the other sale fronts, you also can just get Xbox Game Pass for your PC. So why even buy the Xbox? This is the part where we get really interesting, where Microsoft is already like setting themselves up to pivot from not having a console.
Oh yeah,
and doing what we've said years ago, where like, don't make a console and pivot into a service, and you will blow people away if you can do it correctly. But we also said when we talked about it then, and this is before we had a podcast, you can't flip a switch because the shock and awe factor, it's not Blitzkrieg. You can't just fly planes over Berlin and blow it up.
And that same line of thinking too,
There's
Sony
walls
could be
and fronts.
So, Sony could be.
I don't know why I'm making World War II. It's the damn Hurricanes, freaking Spitfire references.
Sony could be like looking at the same way we are. I mean, like we can't compete with Microsoft. Like they have a better infrastructure than we do, and then they're doubling down on just
exclusives.
hardware and exclusives. Which, if Microsoft does make that transition to where they kind of disseminate their content onto all platforms and just charge a subscription fee, like Sony will have a nice, lovely niche going on there where they're the only last game console.
Yeah,
that's truly a game console.
Yeah, and it's funny because I screamed this from a mountaintop about Nintendo before they put out the Switch. I said, stop making hardware. Just stop. Like in their Wii U phase when they were so god awful, but they had good games, but the hardware was so bad. I was like, just don't do it anymore. Release to the other consoles and become a publisher, period. Don't become a hardware guy. Just become a publisher because people love your games. We're just sick of dealing with this shit console, which technically, well, if you talk to Nintendo, they say the Switch is a console. Well, let's be honest. It's still pretty much a handheld. So they did do that, but they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And they succeeded really well. But I think they still would have been fine without the Switch. Because people are like, yeah, the Switch is so good. But when you go, what's so good about it? And they're like, well, Breath of the Wild, and Mario, and yada yada. And you're like, you don't need the Switch for that. In theory. Like, yeah, you air quotes do because that's the requirements. But if they had said, like, oh, we're just going to release this on the other platforms.
Can you imagine the sales they would have gotten if they released Breath of the Wild on all platforms like Sony, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC?
Yeah, if they were just like, and here is the first...
They'd be doing Red Dead numbers. They'd be doing like GTA numbers.
And here is this new Zelda. And the part that we're not telling you about is at the end of the trailer. Enjoy the trailer, and then they show the whole thing. And at the end of the trailer, it just goes, Legend of Zelda, subtitled Breath of the Wild, and then the Nintendo logo pops up. And then right next to it, the Xbox logo pops up, and then the entire crowd goes, holy shit. And then right next to that, the PlayStation one pops up, and they're like, you've got to be shitting me. The entire crowd just does the thing where their brain swells, and then just they all explode. Like
it would just be like a Devolver silent.
It'd be like a Devolver conference where everybody would just go, poof. Or you would hear so many phones ringing, and everybody just in the conference, I was like, I don't even know who I need to call to publish an article about this because what just happened.
I want that moment.
There is still potential for that to happen.
Yeah, I would like that moment very much so. All right, moving on to this beast.
I'm gonna get a drink of water.
Number 2. EA and Respawn took the game world by storm by announcing and launching Apex Legends via a live stream on February 4th. I say by storm because inside of its first hour of being online, Apex had already accrued 1 million players. And as of today, February 8th, 72 hours later, it has 10 million players with 1 million concurrent. So what is Apex Legends and how did it get so popular so quickly? Apex is a traditional Battle Royale style game with a few differences. It's class-based and only has squads of 3, no solo or duo modes. The other thing going for it is that it was made by Respawn and exists inside the Titanfall universe. No Titans, though. So it's an established IP, even if Apex is somewhat of a radical departure from the Titanfall games. Now, as to why it's so popular, probably comes down to clever marketing. Everyone enjoys a game announcement accompanied by instant availability. In this case, it also helped EA and Respawn avoid any uncomfortable press from them just being EA, as well as the scrutiny that comes when players have the chance to dissect every second of gameplay shown. The other elephant in the room, as far as why it's so popular, is that EA wisely chose to buy every popular Twitch streamer, from Ninja to Dr. Disrespect. Twitch is obviously a large factor as to how Fortnite became a phenomenon, and EA is trying to recreate that success by making Apex a staple of Twitch. So far, it's been a success, with Apex regularly outperforming Fortnite on Twitch, but it's too early to tell if it has serious long-term potential. What will be telling is how many streamers stick with the game after their paid-to-play contracts have ended. Last but not least, the game is free to play. There are microtransactions, but they are fairly tame by EA standards. All in-game content can be earned by playing either from earning loot boxes in-game or the in-game currency. Obviously, those things can be purchased as well. That being said, the only thing that's not cosmetic that can be purchased is new characters, which are also the game's classes. So far, it's not pay to win. I'm sure we'll have plenty of news to come on this one if it keeps this trajectory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Slides into the room. Yes.
Yeah, just I agree.
So I haven't played it. So early thoughts on it from
solid.
Yeah.
So yeah, the true thing is yes, the Twitch money of buying the people to play it. Smart move. From
in I don't know if it's like in the defense of anything, but the few streamers I've caught a couple minutes of playing it have seemed to genuinely enjoy the game.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, and it seems I've always said that Titanfall has had solid shooting. So, okay, move that same shooting into this. You're fine. I like the loot system. I like the movement. I don't have any problem with some of the healing or anything. Sometimes there's sometimes it's a little weird with some of the drop rates on certain things, as much as like ammo or something. So you could end up, but it's a BR, so you can't have everything. Just because you land somewhere doesn't mean you automatically get weapons. Like, that's not how BRs work. Though sometimes the time to kill is a little high, depending on once again like loot and stuff. But sometimes the time to kill is decently high, and the ammo available can be low. So sometimes you just end up in a fist fight anyway.
It's kind of interesting in a way, though.
Yeah. Which, I mean, yeah, you would think about it like two people staring at each other. They both can't kill each other with the guns, and they just do that good old, and they toss they just throw the gun away, and they're like, that's it. And then you see just two guys just, and they put their dukes up, and they go at it. But the hero thing is pretty cool. It doesn't seem... There's only 6 by default, with 2 with the option to buy. And it doesn't... Do you hear that too?
I did, yeah. It's like...
Oh, it's not coyotes, but I think it's coy dogs.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for the silence. They're...
Speaking of coy dogs.
Okay, all right.
Have you seen all the crazy mountain lion stories?
Oh, yeah, but I'm not surprised about that. I've had mountain lions up. I mean,
Well,
I can't,
the national news recently.
Oh, no, I haven't.
A dude. All right, we're totally segueing here.
Okay.
A dude running. I can't remember where it was. It was somewhere in the Midwest, I believe. He was running down a popular trail.
Oh, is this the one where he fought off a mountain lion?
A mountain lion attacked him, and he fucking strangled it to death.
Yeah, I did. I think I saw the headline, but I didn't read into it.
Yep. And then the other one was a lady, another Midwest state, I believe.
Oh, well, of course.
Thought she was breaking up a dog fight. Okay, so let me back up. The mountain lion that attacked the guy wasn't a full-size mountain lion. It was a juvenile male mountain lion. It was probably, I think he said it was like 90 pounds or something like that. Still big mountain lion. But
big dog.
Yeah. This lady thought she was breaking up a dog fight, and she grabbed her dog and what she thought was the other dog by their scruffs.
Yeah.
And picked them up, pulled them apart.
And
then realized...
Then looked at her right hand and realized it wasn't a dog.
Yeah, and then realized that it was a mountain lion. Another small one. I think that one they said was like 40 pounds. It was it was a young one. And she held it down and called for her husband. And her husband came out with a gun and shot it.
Well, I don't know if that was necessary.
And, these Midwestern people, they're,
Yeah, but just call it a relocation service.
So, yeah, this shit's whack, man, with these mountain lions. I think it's fantastic.
I think it's hysterical. I love just the comic idea, though, of just, all right, you two. And then she just looks over at her dog and like, what are you doing? Why? And then she glances to her right hand and is like, what are you? You're not a dog.
I can't believe the dude running though. Like he heard something behind him, turned around, the mountain lion jumped on him and actually started attacking him. It said he got like serious but not life-threatening injuries.
Yeah.
And then he like, I just wish I was that type of person. I hope I am in that situation where he was like, no, fuck you. And like strangled it to death and then left, was like, I got to get out of here. Like,
I love the idea that he's strangled. I feel like if one of us got in that situation, we'd also be like, well, if it's dead, I kind of want to take it with me. You just want to like throw it over your shoulder and be like, yeah, I'm walking out here with a mountain lion that attacked me. It's mine.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Where he's like, he gets back and he gets all healed up. He's like, I'm going back and finding that body. It's coming with me. Anyway.
Well, he killed it. Well, I don't think he realized he killed it, but he strangled it and then got in his car and drove himself to a hospital.
Yeah.
Like, what a champ.
I mean, champ there, but you also hear of ladies that start giving birth and drive themselves to hospitals too.
That's just crazy.
That's
another
insane.
Level. Yeah. Anyways, Apex Legends. How about that time to kill?
How about it? So yeah, you end up with sometimes high time to kill and low ammo, which just ends up in weird situations sometimes. It's whatever. It's just, I think there's slight bit of balancing they need to do. Very, very minimal.
What about
but all
the class abilities?
That's where I was going. That's the real part I was going to. All the classes, they all seem to be pretty balanced. A lot of
that's impressive. Like
in terms of pretty balanced, I think. Trying to think. I think I ran into every class. They all have different abilities, obviously. 2 of them. Then I think a passive too. I think they have 2 abilities and a passive. Yeah. And they all are useful. I think what Kenny and I were learning is we need to, because the game forces you into 3s, and I need to get off Apex Legends because we need to move this episode along and not be 2 hours again this week. With it forcing you into 3s, with Kenny and I duoing and getting a random, him and I need to pick 2 people that like work together. So there's one that has a smoke screen. So it's like, yeah, throw her down. Then one of us will be that person. The other one will be the tracker. So if we get in a close combat fight, we just smoke. Then we throw the tracker out so we can still see where people are. And now we can just fight in this smoke. Like just better coordination with the abilities.
I downloaded it. Maybe I'll try to get it on with you guys one night because I
You'll just have to tolerate Kenny. That's all.
I like Kenny.
You haven't witnessed that Kenny yet.
Okay, sounds interesting.
That Kenny is fine. I've known that. I've known this. I've known every version of Kenny for years.
Is he like South Park Kenny, where he dies and gets resurrected?
No, but he can just get really frustrated. And he's one of the people that he is vocal in his frustration, but it isn't necessarily at people. Like he doesn't necessarily mean it at you. And I end up trying to not laugh a lot, so I have to mute my mic.
What happens if you laugh? Does he get upset?
Well, because I don't want him to think I'm laughing at him, even though I kind of am. Because like he just gets really frustrated in certain situations, and I'm like, "It's a game, man. We'll get to where we need to get to. Like we'll get there." But he'll just get really angry sometimes, and he's just like, "I'm not," or really like frustrated, like, I hate this and this stupid thing, and I don't know what I should have done. We should have either done this or this, and then like today, the last game we played. We were the last 3 squads, and somehow we ended up between the other 2 squads.
Yeah, so you're fucked.
So we're screwed.
Yeah.
But we're trying to fight our way out of it with the one squad that's closest to us. I get roasted because I got in a firefight from both sides. I get rezzed. Then our other guy goes out and tries to fight, but then he tries to fight too, and he ends up dying. They both end up dying. Then I come around with little health, and I end up dying. And he just gets like really frustrated with it and yada yada, and then he just quits Apex Legends because we were going to FM anyway.
Yeah,
but it's just out. And then we're maybe a couple days through FM, and he's like, so I think in that situation, what we should have done was like this, and he's because you can tell he's still playing it in his head.
Yeah,
but just the immediate frustration came out where he's like, oh, this, and then once he started like kind of analyzing it again, he's like, okay, all right, maybe this or this. And we're like, okay, that makes sense. It's just there's little like immediate things that if you're not used to it or not ready for it, can sound tilty. But he's not like the other group you've heard where it's
toxic.
Whew, yeah.
All right.
Number 3. EA has released their financial results of the past quarter, and it wasn't great. After the results, EA's stock fell to its lowest point in the past decade. The prepared remarks that accompany the results is where it gets juicy. Just like all those... Never mind. Say yoga pants that say that, but we're going to move on. Let me read you a quote from the one and only EA CEO, Andrew Wilson, speaking on Battlefield 5. Quote, unfortunately, the later release date meant the game launched deeper into a competitive holiday window where heavy price discounting was a big factor. In addition, we also made the decision to prioritize other features, including a single-player experience at launch over a Battle Royale mode. This year, Battle Royale modes became incredibly popular in shooter games. As a result of these decisions, we struggled to gain momentum, and we did not meet our sales expectations for the quarter. End quote. I'm assuming you fixed that, and I didn't notice. Andrew Wilson, I think you fixed that one too. Andrew Wilson went on to say that EA is looking forward to releasing and focusing on Apex Legends and later Anthem, as well as Respawn's Star Wars game, Fallen Order. Kind of worried about that game, as Nate pointed out. Not yet, actually, never mind. Kind of worried about that game, and I don't feel too good about it coming out this year.
So I like how he was like, yeah.
Do you know the 2 spots that I was talking about, by the way?
Yes, yeah. I didn't. They were. Something happened there. There was a snafu.
I just didn't know if you edited them on yours, and I didn't get the live update as is.
No, I was
course.
like rushing to do it, because I got stuck on the phone for like an hour, and I was like trying to rush to do it, and then like I was kind of going back and forth between my iPad and the computer, and I think like when I fixed something on one, it was just some weird stuff going on. Anyways, I love how he blamed Battlefield 5's poor sales and the fact that they prioritized a single player over a Battle Royale. And it just there was several times in the prepared remarks where it was like cringy like that. You're like, oh really?
Yeah, when you're like, that's not your actual problem, you idiot.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. EA's like every other company's like financial reporting is usually boring as fuck. But I love reading EA's because they always say shit like that. They always say stupid shit where it's just like,
where it should be really boring, and then they're just like, what if we just shot ourselves in the foot? And you're like, that's not what you didn't. Okay, first off, you didn't shoot yourself in the foot with Battlefield. You guys had a giant loot box controversy around every one of your games. So yeah, that's a problem. And then you've also now tainted. You have tainted games leading up to a Battlefield that people are like, do you not understand your past actions have ripple effects.
The best part about the whole thing is they did this. They went through FIFA. They went through their mobile games. And basically they came to the conclusion like, FIFA performed really well. Our mobile games performed really well. We need to do more loot boxes.
Yeah.
I was like,
And Belgium's not suing us.
All right.
I also agree, though, Titanfall 3, we'll see what's going to happen with that. I don't care if people say they're not doing it. We'll see what happens. Also, Anthem is later as well as Respawn's Star Wars game Fallen Order. Yeah, we'll see. When all of a sudden Respawn's talking shit, not negatively, but they're talking stuff last weekend after we record. Like, oh, this Apex thing is coming out Monday. They're like, yeah, we've been working on this Apex thing. Here it is Monday. And I'm like, I thought you guys were working on Star Wars? Are you canceling another one, EA? Waiting to see.
Hope not.
Hope not, but I'm not holding my breath. I will die.
Number 4. The Steam Awards have been announced, and they're interesting. The awards are voted on by the Steam community, so
you
naturally...
bet your ass they are. I voted.
Yeah, I did too. I don't think any of my games won.
I guarantee none of mine did.
There was... where was I? Okay, so naturally, the results are a bit different from something like, say, the Game Awards. I'm going to just rip through the results real quick.
No, the results are out?
Yeah.
I believe they did a show for this, too. You can either confirm or deny that, or just ignore it. There was talk that they were actually going to do a game show for it.
There is a video on the website. I did not click it to see what it was.
So that might be what it was.
Yeah. Let's start at the bottom and we'll go up.
Let's do them quick.
Okay. If I can scroll. Piece of crap.
Speed round.
Most fun with a machine. Didn't know that was I don't know. Rocket League.
There's a lot of weird titles, or a lot of weird categories in the Steam Awards.
Yes, there are. Rocket League. If you want to know any of the nominees, just let me know. Best alternate history. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
False. Wolfenstein. Continue.
It was on there. Better with Friends. Rainbow Six Siege.
False. Human Fall Flat. Continue.
That one's not on there, actually. Overcooked 2 is, though.
Also good.
Best environment. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
We'll never lose. Continue.
Best developer.
Oh, sorry. Until Cyberpunk comes out, then that'll win.
Best developer. CD Projekt Red.
Oh, shocking.
I know, right?
Have you heard of our Lord and Savior, Geraldo de Riviero?
I feel like that wasn't even a fair one. Labor of Love. GTA 5.
False. Gang Beasts. It's not really Gang Beasts either, but I just couldn't. That was the first thing that came to my mind that wasn't GTA.
This is a weird one. VR Game of the Year. You would think that'd be something like Super Hot, right?
That's what it should be.
Or even Beat Sabers, perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
Skyrim.
False. Beat Saber. Continue.
Game of the Year.
For VR? Yeah, deal.
Game of the Year.
Oh, sorry. Just overall?
PUBG.
False. Fortnite.
Uh,
I would have loved if Fortnite could have been submitted in Steam. That would have been hysterical.
So just to rip through the Game of the Year choices, it was PUBG, Monster Hunter World, Kingdom Come Deliverance,
which was littered with racism that we talked about when it launched.
Yeah.
Well,
historically accurate racism.
Yeah.
Hitman 2.
Just like when I go back to... Never mind.
Hitman 2 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I still don't choose PUBG out of that category, but probably Monster Hunter World out of that one then.
Yeah, I wouldn't choose PUBG. That's for sure.
Nope. But that's why we voted with our clicks, and
they obviously were not in the majority.
Nope, not at all. I think I voted for maybe Far Cry for that one. I don't remember now. I voted for Far Cry for one of them.
That would have to be environment, I believe.
I don't know. I nominated a bunch. I went through and did all the noms.
I didn't do the nominations. I think I just did the voting.
I think I did the noms, not the voting. So, well, there you go.
Okay.
There's your answers. Number 5, speaking of a game Nate just mentioned, Human Fall Flat, the bizarre physics puzzle game that Matt and Nate both love, has sold 5 million copies. To celebrate the milestone and the Lunar New Year, the creators, Curve Digital, is giving everyone with the game 4 new skins for free. These skins are a rodeo clown, a cowboy, a hiker, and what appears to be 3 pigs dressed as a single person. Because they're going to blow your house down. Wait, that's a wolf. Oh, shit.
Maybe that's what they're dressed as.
The Big Bad Wolf?
Maybe. I'll have to look at that
Big Bad
again.
Wolf, the Big Bad Wolf, who's afraid of the Big Bad... Sorry.
Okay.
You don't remember that? I don't remember.
I do.
I don't remember what cartoon it's from, but I could just...
It's like the old freaking Disney cartoons. Like if they're black and white, it's like
the pig singing it. Yeah, it's the Steamboat Willie.
Exactly. Yep. You know it. Yep, that's exactly it.
I could pull out a Steamboat Willie. You know who Lucky the Rabbit is? We're not going to get into this Disney thing, but continue.
I don't actually.
Lucky the Rabbit Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. That's his actual name. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit was the failed creation of Disney.
Oh, okay.
It's roughly based around like what Epic Mickey, the first one, is based around.
Oh, cool. Number 6. Overcooked 2 developer Ghost Town Games is also getting in on the Lunar New Year.
So was Overwatch. I'm hijacking this just to say that. Continue.
That's fine. With free DLC of sorts. They added a Chinese minigame with 7 kitchens, new obstacles.
7 kitchens?
Yes.
That's a lot of kitchens.
I mean, it might just be the minigames in 7 kitchens.
I think that's what it means, but I like the idea that there's a map with 7 kitchens in it, and you have to figure that out.
Maybe.
That would be hell, but also hysterical.
There's new obstacles, new dishes, and 2 Chinese chefs. On top of the new content, there
Ping and ping pong.
Oh, Jesus. I wonder if they wear the fucking rice patty hats. All right.
They're called Charlie and...
Oh, Jesus. That's like Vietnam. Good morning,
I was including
Vietnam. Okay.
Fuck, are we going to play whatever symphony? The helicopter man plays the music.
Where the fuck was I? Okay. On top of the new content, there's a new game mode, a survival mode that is an endurance challenge, to be exact. By the way, the game is currently discounted on Steam for Steam's Lunar New Year sale.
Great
Lots
game.
of Lunar New Year love.
Great game.
It is. Well, I think I've only played the original at this point.
Yeah, 2 is great, and if you are Todd, you don't do an endurance challenge because the car is going to hit you immediately.
Roasted.
The amount of times he would get hit by cars on the levels where you had to like cross a street to do stuff. Hysterical. We're just sitting here playing it, and I'm doing something, and then just... It's like, oh my god, I got hit by a car again. And then he figures it out. He's like, oh, I see there's lights. Like, it's going to tell, like, when it's good to go or whatever. He's like, okay. And then he gets hit by a car immediately right after he figures that out. I'm like, what are you doing? Constantly hit by cars.
I had it backwards.
Number 7. Take-Two and 2K have announced that they're opening a new studio in Silicon Valley headed by Michael Condrey. Condrey was the co-founder of Sledgehammer Games and also the former COO of Visceral Games. RIP. He's worked on multiple Call of Duty games as well as the original Dead Space. 2K has begun hiring staff for the studio, so it'll be a while before we see anything from them. Probably 2K Sports something.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, 2K's got a big publishing stuff, but they're not about to do another Saints Row. Borderlands 3 is already in the works.
What about an original IP? I mean, if you have like a director / like lead has that much experience with shooters.
Did they do oh god, I'm gonna forget the name of it now. Battle? No. It was a hero shooter. That failed horribly. Like it was like a MOBA shooter. Battle.
Maybe you think you're gonna take that IP and make it like a battle royale?
No, I think they're just. I just mean like in terms of. I don't remember if they did it or not, but that was like one of the last new IPs I remember somebody trying to do, and it just sucking.
Yeah.
It went from like I think it started. I don't remember if it started at $60, then immediately it was down to $30, and then you were seeing it for like $5, and still people weren't buying it. And I was like, and then it went free to play, and they were like, "Whoo boy!" That was right when all like those MOBA shooters like.
All I can think of is the one with the frickin' things that each one had like the monster. There was like the two. It wasn't really a battle royale game or anything like that. It was competitive. Like there was like teams of 6 maybe, but each like there was 2 teams. Each team had like the monster that they were protecting, and the other team had to kill it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the game.
That's the only one I could think of. It was horrible. Like it did not do well at all.
That might be that one. It was that one along. It was.
I want to say it was like Paragon or something.
No.
Like
Paragon.
That.
Paragon was one, but Paragon was PlayStation, or I think it was also, but it had like the trading card stuff in it too.
Yeah.
But it was right around like Paragon. People saw Paragon's success,
and then snowing out.
Yeah, and then everybody's like, "Oh, let's do hero shooter MOBAs," and then all of them took off, or all of them happened, and then everybody's like, "These aren't good." Oh. It's not Borderlands, but every time I hear the name of it, I'm gonna have to look it up. Are you looking it up?
I'm typing in failed MOBAs and hoping it comes up.
Oh boy, that's gonna be you're gonna see Dawngate on there at some point.
Let's see here: Warhammer Online, Infinite Crisis, Dawngate, Master vs. Master, Paragon, Gigantic.
Nope, but that's the one you're thinking of.
Yeah,
but not Gigantic.
Lord of Vermilion Arena, Cloud Pirates.
Nope. Look for something that starts with a B. I think.
Solstice, Rise of Immortals, Battle for Groxia.
Nope.
Sins of the Dark Age.
Nope.
That's the end of my list.
This is great content. You just keep listening. I'm going to keep telling you now.
That was the end of my list.
Battleborn.
Battleborn. It was so simple.
It was right there.
Oh my god.
I got a list of failed hero shooters. That's where I went.
Oh, nice.
Amazing Eternals, Battleborn, Gigantic, Lawbreakers, Monday Night Combat, yada yada yada. So, yeah, man. Battleborn. Whew. Anyway.
All right, number 8.
The Ocho.
What do we have for time? We're at past an hour, right?
Yep.
All right, we're almost done.
Yep.
Number 8. AMD released their Radeon 7 to much fanfare. It seemed to be sold out at most retailers. It launched at $699.
Whew.
And is a direct competitor to the RTX 2080.
Whew.
Yeah, it's actually AMD's first major card release in a very long time. It's on the 7-nanometer process, so that's kind of the big hubbub about it. It's actually somewhat competitive with where they were targeting. It's like within 10% of in benchmarks with the RTX 2080. But it is loud as fuck, and it consumes a metric dick ton of power. But apparently it was rushed.
How much is a metric dick ton? Dick ton, not.
I mean, the only card that consumes more power than it is the Vega 64.
What is the English measurement for a metric dick ton?
Like 300 and something watts at load, which is like a lot.
Wasn't there something about if you don't run it at 100% efficiency, or not 100% power, but if you dropped it to like 90 something, it technically beats a 2080 in efficiency?
Yeah, so reviewers are finding that if they actually take the time to like undervolt the card and tune it, it'll perform better, it'll consume less power, and all that good stuff. So yeah. It was. That's why. That's where the rust part comes from, and the coolers actually. So you know how like, obviously, when you're throwing a heat sink on a chip, the traditional way is to use a thermal paste and.
I use hot glue.
Well, they use thermal pads because
Verge told me. Or sorry, not the Verge.
they use thermal pads because they didn't have time to come up with a correct connector for the heatsink, like to create the right amount of pressure on the chip. So they had to use a thermal pad because there was so much of a gap between the chip and the heatsink plate.
Oh boy!
So yeah,
I guess if it works,
it barely works.
yeah. I mean, a lot of things in this country barely. Anyway,
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just a little. At least it's somewhat competitive.
yeah,
So
needed a competitor.
they did.
Now, if you want to, so that's my segue song. If Matt, you didn't want to spend $699, what if I told you could get stuff cheaper than that?
Amazing.
What if I told you those things that you could get cheaper than that were video games?
Prove it.
What if the first thing I'm going to prove to you was only $12 and it guaranteed you Cultist Simulator, Warhammer Vermintide 2 Collector's Edition, and Earth Defense Force 4?
That's a good deal. $12.
$12. You give those to the people at Humble Bundle, and you get those guaranteed 3 games right now, and then whatever the rest of the bundle is on March 1st. Pretty good deal.
That's a good deal. I don't know how they do it.
Now, what if I told you, do you have PlayStation Plus, Matt?
I do.
What if I told you some stuff came out for free on Tuesday?
I'd
if
have to
you
go.
had PlayStation
I'd
Plus.
have to go claim it.
Well, here's what you should claim on your PS4: For Honor.
Really?
I'm not lying as I read these. Hitman Season 1.
Interesting.
Gunhouse.
Don't know what that is. I'll take it though.
Rogue Aces.
Okay.
Those are both cross-buy with the Vita. And then on your PS3, you can claim Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots.
Interesting.
Dive Kick, which is also cross-buy with the PS Vita. Do you have Xbox Gold, Matt?
I don't have an Xbox, so no.
But if you did, here's some games you could play this month that I'm not going to try to explain the windows that you could play them during. But this month you could. Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon, Super Bomberman R, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy.
I'll take it.
Do you have Twitch Prime, Matt? Because do you have Amazon Prime? Because you know, we've always said it, but if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime.
Amazing.
And here are the games you could get this month with that. Pikuniku.
I don't know what that is, but I like the name.
Same. Dear Esther, Landmark Edition. Downwell. Did I copy the list wrong?
I don't know. Did you?
It says The Flame and the Flood, but I don't think that's right. It also says Dracneck and Co. Puzzle Collection, but I don't think that's right either. So I'm going to say Downwell, and I'm going to stop there. If the other two are there, bonus. But Downwell.
Okay.
You know
That's
what you
a
do?
new one, isn't it?
You know what you do during Downwell?
You go down a well.
You're damn right. You got some rocket boots. You go down a well. You boost. You shoot enemies. You fall. It is a good time. I am only checking one more thing to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And then we will wrap up this episode and call it a day.
Also, I heard a rumor that Target might be doing a
We are not missing anything.
buy two, get one on Switch games this coming week.
If you want to hear a better rumor, it's not a rumor.
Okay.
They're doing Buy 2, get 1 on all games, board games included, and select video games.
Select video games.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So I'll save you from saying all Switch games because I believe it is select video games. And I think that can include some pre-orders. I think specifically Division, Anthem, MLB The Show, and a couple others are counted in those pre-order listings. And how do I know these things, Matthew?
Interesting.
Because I read the Reddits. It was actually on Slick Deals.
Yeah.
Somebody at Target, I'm pretty sure, grabbed their ad on Wednesday and posted it on Slick Deals.
Nice.
Nice.
So that's what you plan on doing?
No.
Interesting.
Because I already have pre-ordered the show.
Oh.
I am playing Anthem via Premiere. And I have a 20% off using the Ubisoft points that I purposely haven't bought Division with yet because it doesn't let you go towards pre-orders. So the moment the game comes out, I'm buying it and doing it that way.
Nice. Thinking with your dipstick.
Laddie. Oh, you're thinking with your dipstick, laddie. What commercial was that? Was that a Guinness commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He smacks the dude with the dipsticks.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I miss those.
They were good.
They were. That being said, I'm going to go drink. We will, no, I'm not. I just thought about what was in the house. I'm not going to do that. We will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.